You see, this palace was constructed to be the official residence of Maharaja, which it was till the time of the merger of the states in 1949. After my grandfather died, of course my father lived here with the extended family, and that continued till after the mergers. But then when my father died in 1952, my grandmother and some of the uncles and other family members also moved out. So then there was only my mother and my sisters and myself staying here. And in those days I was in school in England. So they had the brunt of maintenance. My sisters helped my mother looking after the place. So it was not easy. And matters were made worse when I returned, because by then the sisters had got married and it was just my mother and myself. So
in this house?
In this house, well, we had offices and other things running, but and the old staff, of course. But the real thing was that a place like this has to be lived in, to be maintained properly. And that's why I thought the only proper thing to do is to convert it into a hotel and restore some of the things, characteristics that it was built to be, as a kind of an entertainment center, cultural center, a place where people visitors from overseas and all around India could come.
Including the people of Jodhpur?
Yes, they come. We have a museum here, so people look around that. One portion of that is still going on. Plus there's a hotel, plus I live here.
Any childhood recollections, or you've not been here while obviously the place was being...
No, I was born here, so I was always here in holidays. Although in the early days we were in Ooty and then in Pune, then I went to England. But holidays were always here, so I have a lot of holiday memories. There used to be birthday parties in the lawn at the back, and a lot of citizens and their children were called. And although I didn't enjoy it very much, but I think it was my first introduction to public life.
No skating down the corridors?
Not skating, we used to bicycle. We used to play football in the rotunda and all kinds of things like that. Usual thing.
Not doable today.
And of course the ballroom had a wonderfully sprung floor, which was ideal for badminton. When the capital shifted from Mandor to Jodhpur, one of the main reasons was scarcity of water. The other was for strategic reasons. This was a more secure area. And since that time, we're talking about 1459 when this Mehrangarh fort was founded, to now, water has been a prime concern in the city. And this waterworks has actually evolved over 500 years. And was very effective right up to, say, even till the 50s. It was being maintained and looked after. But thereafter, when the population grew beyond a certain level, then outside sources began to be tapped. Actually, even during my grandfather's time, one Jawai Dam scheme was started, and that water started coming in. That was when the population crossed 2 lakhs. Today the population is close to 9 lakhs. Or almost 10 lakhs, they say. So this is system from the purely supply of water became redundant, according to the PhD, but not in the social, cultural sense and the environmental sense. That's what I think we made a big mistake, to just neglect it, because it does have a social and cultural connotation, because there's a lot of ritual and religious observances involved with the water bodies in the city, plus the kind of water that we are getting by collection of rainwater is of far superior quality than the water that we get either by open canal from other dams, or by because it comes a long way in open canals, or by subsoil water, which is saline. So I think we must restore the sense of the importance of these water bodies, because they are architecturally important. They have a history behind them. Some of the ladies of the households and various people have contributed towards their building, because that was, in social terms, the temple building or water things was very much part of the dharma, dan pun syndrome. And that continues, is linked very much with all the religion and ritual. Plus, from the entertainment point of view, the tourism point of view, the larger lakes and bodies should be kept intact and full of water.
how do you see your role in kind of this process of, at least preservation?
Well, we have brought about conservation, awareness program through INTAC and directly through the media like yourselves. So at least one thing is there, that now the water systems of the old water system of Jodhpur is known. Jodhpur is fairly unique, but not that unique, because many of the old cities had water collection systems, and I do think they have a relevance in today's time. And we have in fact through INTAC impressed upon the administration to release some funds, and we've got a few canals cleaned up this time and 2 years ago also, and both times it's been very successful, because with the first rains there's been substantial collection in those lakes. So it proves that with a little bit of water, a little bit of rainfall, you can get substantial collection if these canals and the whole system is maintained, because the whole thing is actually integrated. You've got the big lakes,
That's right.
then you've got the smaller lakes, then you've got the step wells and things of that kind.
The system evolved over time.
Yes, and then you've got the wells. So actually the whole subsoil water also depends on this. All the fruit and fruit growing belt and the agricultural belt around the town also depends on this thing.
But a lot of quarrying has led to scarring of the...
Yes, the quarrying has gone completely out of control, and it is absolutely criminal what has been done. And in fact we have gone through court now, because finally we found that there's nothing else was working, and so our local INTAC chapter has gone to court and taken up this issue, not just because of the loss of water, but also from the environmental and aesthetic point of view, and from the health point of view of the city. And as we are a desert town, although there is more greenery now than there was before, these are really the lungs of the city. Clean water is essential for us.
Okay, thank you. One more thing, I wanted just another, I was missing out on how do you see changing times here from, say, from what you have seen in your childhood, kind of a reflection on changing times in the backdrop of, this kind of large heritage, a pretty vast kind of cultural heritage. How do you see? Do you see, for instance, it becoming inevitable that these kind of, say the heritage of the princely states, etc., have to be transformed commercially? Are there options?
You see, culture and heritage, when it gets talked of today, sometimes is misrepresented. I think that these things are not static. There's always evolution. What has gone wrong in our society is that there was a period post-independence when we thought that everything traditional had to be scrapped in order to achieve modernity and become effective. This now has proved to be a misnomer and a fallacy, because people realize that it is your cultural roots that provide you the identity. And you ask me what changes I felt. This is what I feel is that we're losing rapidly. During my childhood I felt that there was still a great deal of affinity amongst all the peoples of different caste communities, no matter what they were, even though the systems were maybe more rigid, but there was still affinity, the feeling of oneness, feeling of belonging to this region, feeling of a shared cultural heritage. And that gave a sense of pride and a sense of harmony. And we have to, that is what's essential to build up now, particularly in these troubled times. And we have tried also to, through various organizations and things, keep this intact, particularly in terms of social harmony. And in fact, this last time we were very successful, so that at least in Jodhpur there were no problems. By and large, because of the networking of the old traditions.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
That was good.